Alright, hello everyone. I have been promising some flights and videos, so here we are in FSX. I have it all loaded up, ready to go, and I am most definitely ready to go. We're in this absolutely beautiful plane today, the Cessna 172. We're going to do a quick circuit around Cairns, and I'm going to show you a couple little things about the plane.
Central 9000 QNH 1019.
Alright, we are back. So, as you can see, we are on the runway. We're at runway 33 at Cairns, so that's runway 33, facing 330 degrees, roughly. So, what I'm going to do is obviously to take off, we need to get some propeller moving. So I'm going to go ahead and start this plane up. I have to apologise also, by the way, for the lack of quality. My computer's not running very well lately, so yeah, apologies for that. So I've just switched the two batteries on and starting it up now. What a beautiful sound. Alright, I won't be using air traffic control today, just to keep it all simple. I'll do that in another video. Alright, I think we're ready to go. So just lowering the flaps to the first position for takeoff. So I know you guys can't see it, but we're going to, maybe you can now, we're going to wait until it gets to just after 60 knots, about 70 knots, and then we are going to rotate and take off. Here we go. Parking brakes are off. knots. Rotate. Alright, so we are going to do a circuit. I'm just waiting until we get past the control tower before I bank. So the first thing to point out is our attitude indicator. Well, actually, I might start with the airspeed indicator. So the airspeed indicator indicates the airspeed. You know, pretty straightforward, but indicates it in knots, which is equivalent to 1.852 kilometers per hour. So that's pretty straightforward. We took off at about 60 knots. Hopefully we'll be landing at a little bit less than that. Right now we're sitting at about 70 knots. So the next thing I'm going to show you is our attitude indicator. And what it displays is how far right we're banking and how far left we're banking. But it does do other stuff too. The attitude is when we point up or down, and it displays us how far up we're pointing and how far down we're pointing. Blue for the sky and brown for the dirt, which we really don't want to hit. So I'm going to do another right bank, and you guys just watch what happens to that airspeed, not the airspeed, sorry, the attitude indicator as I bank to the right. So we're coming around to the lovely mudflats of Cairns Esplanade. Alright, the next I'm going to show you is just below the attitude indicator, and it is the heading indicator. And and it essentially tells us where we're pointing on a compass. So it'll tell us, yeah, which way we're pointing in degrees, just like a compass. We're pointing about 135 degrees right now. Okay. So, now to the right of the attitude indicator, we have the altimeter, which displays the altitude. So, I know you guys can't see it, but the little hand there displays the thousands of feet, which is what we're measuring for height. We don't use meters. The thousands of feet, and we're just coming up on 1. The big hand shows the hundreds of feet. So we've just passed 900 feet. And we're coming up to 1,000 feet now. So it's a lot like a clock, but it's important not to get confused. Alright, so watch the attitude indicator again as I bank to the right. Now, as we come in for our approach onto Cairns, or into Cairns Airport, sorry, we're landing on the runway, we are landing in Cairns. There's another little gauge there, so if you come below the altimeter there, we've got what we call the vertical speed indicator, and it shows us how quickly we're rising or falling. So right now we're sitting at about 0, so we're pretty much level. But if I point the nose down a bit or take off some speed, it'll go under 0 and we start falling. It's a safe fall, don't worry. If I were to add speed on, I won't do it now because we're on our approach and we want to go down, or if I were to raise the nose up, we would start rising. Vertical speed is measured in feet per second. Pretty sure it's feet per second. And yeah, essentially it just tells us how many feet are we going up or down every second. Now, under the airspeed indicator, the coordinator, I'm not using it because I have auto rudder on for FSX. I know, I'm cheating, give me a break. The reason I've done that though is because I don't have rudder pedals. And controlling the rudders with the keyboard is very, very messy. So we can see the runway now. I'm going to lower the flaps down to the 2nd position. And we're sitting on 70 knots now. But you can see we haven't fallen out of the sky. That's because of the flaps. The flaps are really helping us out to land here. So you might also see some lights next to the runway there. They're called the PAPI light, P-A-P-I. They help guide me into the runway. I'm not really using them, I'm using them a little bit, but we'll probably also cover them in another video, because they can be really useful, particularly when you're flying those big jets. So I'm going to go ahead and put the flaps all the way down now. So that we can land at Cairns Airport. Here we go, we're making sure we're level using the attitude indicator, and we've touched down. Braking. we've stopped. Now normally you would not stop on the runway unless you were lining up to take off, but just for the sake of this, we're all good. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up now. Thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you definitely subscribe, because that helps me out a lot, and really I would love if you hit that like button. That way I can produce more videos like this. Thanks guys, hope you enjoyed.